today's video, I'm going to be telling you the things you need to become a registered nurse in the UK, and also this can overflow to other Western countries like the US, Australia, Canada, and so forth. I'll be focusing on the requirements of the UK, but this is quite similar. The process is different, but the requirements is quite similar to all these countries I've just listed. So let's get right into the video. So are you a nurse in any country and you're wishing to relocate to practice in the UK, in Canada, in Australia, in America? Welcome, you're at the right place. So before we continue, I would love you to like this video. I would love you to subscribe, and let's get right into what the topic is for today. What do you need before you can start your journey into any of these countries? First and foremost, you need your nursing license. So you have to be a registered nurse with a recognized nursing body. So if you're from Nigeria, this would be the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. So you must have your nursing license from your licensing board in your country, and this licensing board must be recognized internationally, that's globally. You know, this is a global nursing channel, so we do global, yeah. So yeah, you need your nursing license as the first thing you need. So when you've got your nursing license, all the documentations, if you have a nursing degree, you would be needing your degree certificates. I would just say this: you can have a nursing license, but it's not a nursing degree. That doesn't stop you. The pathway might be slightly different for different countries based on that situation, but it doesn't mean that you cannot register with those countries. So the basic thing is your nursing license, but if you have a degree, it's an added advantage to a lot of countries, but it doesn't mean that without the degree, you cannot start your journey. So I hope I made that clear. Yeah, the next requirements you'll be needing is your English language test examination, especially if your country is not recognized as an English-speaking country. I keep saying this in all my videos. I don't know why Nigeria is not recognized as an English-speaking country when English is our lingua franca. Yeah, English is our national official language, and I don't know. We're colonized by the English people. We still speak the language. All our documents are in English. I don't know why we still need to write the IELTS. Hopefully, we keep putting it out there until one day it's addressed by, I don't know, whoever needs to address it. But yeah, we need to write that English exam. So the major popular one is the IELTS that we usually call IELTS. Yeah, but it's IELTS, yeah. So that's an English exam. There are other English exams like the OET and other exams that different licensing bodies accept. But the one I know that is quite general and easy to access, especially in African countries, is the IELTS. Yeah, so that's an English exam that you have to write, you have to pass. It has 4 different parts. So there's a speaking, writing, listening, and reading. So you have to get the required marks for these four different aspects before you can continue your registration. Now, different registration boards for these different countries require different marks, but they are all within the range of 7.5 and so yeah, when I'm making specific videos about maybe UK, Canada, Australia, and so I will tell you the exact score for each country, but just know that you can Google it, but just know that it's within the range of 7.8. The least I know is 6.5, and that's only applicable in writing for the UK. I don't even know if it's been updated at the point of this video, so I'll make that research and I'll bring that information to you. So what we said, you need a national license and you need an IELTS exam or any other English test exam that is approved for the licensing board that you are applying to. What else do you need? Of course, you need to have your passport, your travel documents, what we call international passport in Nigeria, which is actually a passport. So you need a travel document to start the journey, because that is your identification globally. That is the document that recognizes you as a person globally. Now, I would say this, make sure there is a consistency in names across all your documents. But if you've gotten married and your name has changed and you now have your new name in your passport like I did when I had my own, application, don't panic. Just make sure you have the right documentations to validate, like your change of name documents, your affidavit, your court marriage certificates to prove why your name has changed. You don't have to panic about that. You don't have to do any other stressful process. So yeah. Next thing you'll be needing is that you'll be needing a bunch of tests. Yes. So for the UK, there is an exam called the CBT, and then there is an exam called the OSCE. The CBT can be done anywhere in the world that the centers are approved, and then the OSCE must be done in the UK. This is also applicable to other countries where they have centers all over the world where you can write their theory-based test, the one you do on the computer, and then you have to come over to the country and do another proper test. The only country I know that you don't need to do another physical test is the US, because their NCLEX is so packed. So they believe that if you pass the NCLEX, what your employer now needs to do for you is an orientation when you go to the US. So once you pass the NCLEX, you've become a USRN. So you just need an orientation from your employer when you get there, which I think is fair, is good, because if you pass the NCLEX, yeah, you've passed it. So, but for most other countries, you have to do an online exam and a physical exam. For the UK, is CBT and then OSCE. Then, these are the two exams you need to write. Another thing that you'll be needing to do is, which country are you really looking into? You need to understand how their licensing board works and the time duration. For the UK, the licensing body is NMC UK. For countries like America, Australia, Canada, it's a little bit, more complicated, because the NCLEX itself has a licensing board, has a board that organizes it, and then this NCLEX is adaptable, so you can have one NCLEX and use that NCLEX for both Australia, Canada, and the US, but there are some variations and adaptations you have to make in the process. Just know that that is possible. So every licensing body has its own requirements and its own process and its own time frame. You have to have this at the back of your mind. Know this, and then it makes your journey easier. When you've decided which country you're applying to, the next thing you want to know is the requirements for that specific country. So what I need you to do now is, which country are you looking at, relocating to practice nursing? Put it down in the comment section, and I will do a full-in research on that particular country and bring you the country-specific guideline on how to make the application. So is it Germany? Is it the US? Is it, it doesn't even have to be these 4 countries I'm mentioning. There are lots of countries. Now, New Zealand, Germany, they need nurses. They are calling on nurses. Their doors are open. So just put the countries that you're interested in, and I will make specific videos about those countries and bring them to you. This is just like a general video on the things that you might want to be putting together. So we've talked about your license, your degree certificate if you have one. We've talked about your travel passport document. We've talked about your IELTS exams. We've talked about the basic licensing body exams, example CBT, and to prepare your mind that you do an OSCE. Then you have to have in mind is that these different countries have different visa pathways. So you have to familiarize. So another thing you have to know is that these different countries have different visa pathways. So you have to familiarize yourself with the visa pathway for that particular country that you're applying to. So if it's the US, their visa process is different. If it's the UK, their visa process is different. Whichever country it is, their visa process is different. Again, don't forget to drop the country in the comment section that you want more information on, and I will pull out the research. I will put in my time. I'll do the research and I'll bring it to you. So subscribe, like, click on the notification bell so that when I'm answering that question that you've got, you would be notified. So another thing that you would want to do or have if you're relocating is that you would want to start making researches about these countries, the nursing practice, their accommodations and things like that. Yes, most times the employers will sort this out, or their agencies, but I'm always a fan of do it yourself if you can. Only go through an agency when, for example, countries like the US, you usually need an agency if you are in my home country and other places, because you can't like carry all the expenses. But if you have the funds and you have the knowledge, do it yourself and save yourself a lot of contracts and things like that. So when it comes to the UK, you can definitely do it yourself. So don't always jump to looking for agencies that you would pay. If you put your head down, follow this channel and ask me your questions, you'll be able to figure out what you want to do by yourself. So you have to make researches. This place I'm going to, what's the accommodation like? What cities, familiar and livable for immigrants? What are the rules there? How long does it take to settle in this country? Can I go with my children and my partner? What is the career progression like? Things like that. So these are questions you begin to ask yourself when you're planning on your relocation journey. So if you have your documents, you have everything I've listed, the next thing you want to be doing is starting your application. So if it's the US pathway, there are different bodies that can, you can register with. If it's the UK, you just have to go to the NMC UK portal and start your registration once you've got everything you need. Just get on with it. Don't say, oh my God, even if you just graduated, you are a registered nurse, you can start the process while practicing, because these processes take time. They take 2 to 3 years at least for the US, and for UK now is at least 1 to 2 years. It used to be faster, like I shared in my journey, but right now it's not like that easy anymore. So you don't have to lie down and say, oh, I just graduated. If that's what you want to do for yourself, start so you'll be making progress while practicing and gathering your skills. So yeah, just here to encourage you. If you want to like practice in any country at all, put the country in the comment section and I will make videos about that and I'll bring it your way. I hope this video have helped you, inspired you, given you information and solved one of your nursing problems in one way or the other, because that's the whole vision of this global nurse sitting right in front of you. Stay tuned on this channel and I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.